So welcome to today's update video, and we have which was Tropical Storm Marty yesterday that's now degenerating to a post-tropical remnant low. That's one hurricane. I didn't make a video on Marty yesterday because honestly the storm wasn't really worth really talking about. It's really worth talking about. This one reached maximum intensity of about 40 knots yesterday, but then quickly weakened over the cool waters. You can just kind of see a naked swirl of clouds that remains of Marty here. And overall, systems like to continue, remains of Marty to continue along westward, probably without really affecting anyone, while moving on its strict course westward. Now, behind Marty, there's Invest 85V, which is a National Hurricane Center, which when we covered the other day, the models have become into better agreement on the defining. The National Hurricane Center didn't really confuse me for a bit, because they didn't really tag the area of disturbed weather, so weather where the storm actually was, so I kind of got confused for a bit. But it seems National Hurricane Center and the global models have come into agreement on area of disturbed weather located between around 97 degrees westward and south of 15 degrees north. It's been steadily organizing now today. There was an ASCAP pass that showed a closed center circulation. So I'm a little bit surprised National Hurricane Center did not issue advisories earlier this evening. National Hurricane Center currently gives them a 90% chance to develop within 2 and 5 days. System is supposed to continue moving west northwest. I'll go to the track in a bit, but overall the environmental conditions are relatively favorable. You can kind of see the bulge of an upper level, the bulge from the upper level anticyclone that's looking centered across Mexico. I kind of expect as it continues to evolve, that bulge to persist. Taking a look at 200, you can kind of see a divergence maximum just to the south of the system that likely favors the continued development of the upper-level anticyclone as the system continues to progress. Progress. And overall, there may be some wind shears will be like many cases of potential rapid intensification cases in space, and eventually the higher divergent environment be enough to fight off the wind shear and provide estimates of its own little up-level anticyclone that will allow the storm to actually strengthen. But taking a look overall, you can see the mid-level. Let me take a. No, let me pull this up. Let me pull up the satellite. Let me pull up the satellite, and you can see there's definitely been an increase of convective organization throughout today, and you can see the level center is located near the convection. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see the convection actually faded a little bit over the last few hours, but you can sort of see around here there appears to be a well-defined center. There's really no clear mid-level rotation, indicating that there's already some at least decent stacking structure-wise that should allow for, and that sort of structure. That sort of structure should allow for continued development over the next day or so. In spite of the moderate wind shear, so it would not surprise me if we see a moderate tropical storm in a day. It would not surprise me if we see a moderate tropical storm at this time in about 24 hours from now. Taking a look at the GFS runs, they've been shifting a little bit to the west. Track-wise, they've been shifting a little bit to the west recently. And you can see the ridge is a little bit less. It's not really much of a ridge. So this track shift is unsurprising. It's also consistent with the model biases in this region, as the tracks in this part of the world tend to shift way to the east, one system comes vertically deep and starts becoming sheared by at the mid levels, and as a result, I think a threat to the Baja California Peninsula is more likely in a lot of the recent model runs from the GFS and European. This 0Z run aside have indicated, which of course the 0Z run also further validates my point and brings a solid hurricane into the Baja region. Taking a look at the European run, that also makes this a fairly potent hurricane. You can see the ridge is a little bit more defined here, but I believe it brings the system to about 972 millibars. And I believe the GFS run is suffering a little bit from convective feedback, and that might be just causing a little bit of a little bit more of a northward bulge, or always the faster motion in the track than what you otherwise would expect. But regardless, I do expect in terms of trusted ball California, I think the 0Z GFS run is a little bit close to the ballpark here. Now taking a look, since even both the 12Z European run makes it to at 972 millibars, and I believe the GFS 12Z GFS run brought the storm to a similar intensity. I believe there have been some runs, this one we brought to 975, but I believe there have been some older GFS runs that brought, yeah, like this one brought the storm, like this 0Z GFS run yesterday brought storms to about 960 millibars. I think that's a reasonable ceiling, given the relatively favorable environment we still have that's moist, and given the relatively good structure we see already. We see already with at least some evidence of a well-defined low-level center. Anyway, and even though the storm is actually, looking at the recent frames, actually lost a little bit of organization, it might be broadening a little bit. Or it just might be, or we might see a more concentrated burst of deep convection overnight. It's kind of hard to tell at this stage. But looking at IR, the recent trending just node isn't particularly visible. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed this.